Hey, I thought I'd come back really quick and talk to y'all about how to finance a car with under a 500 credit score. Yes, it's possible. I have a BMW. Sorry to say Benz. I didn't have a Benz. I was looking for a Benz, but I got a BMW. And my credit score was not even 500. Now, that's nothing to be proud of. Let's be clear. It is not cute for you to be over the age of 30 fucking up your credit. That's not cute. Get your shit together. Get your finances together. Do what you're supposed to do. Stop spending all of your paycheck before the next paycheck comes. If you know that you only have X amount of dollars, then you need to cut out some cable. And as a person that just cut the cord and has decided that she is no longer paying a $200 fucking cable bill so she can have the luxury of having every motherfucking channel on the planet, and I'm gonna switch to the Amazon TV Fire Stick and put Cody on that motherfucker, I know you can do that shit too. Figure out where you can cut corners. Costs, not corners. Figure out where you can cut costs in your life so you can stop looking silly. Okay? Credit is something that you're gonna need. Trust me. Anyway, so how'd I do it? Number one myth. You put down a lot of money. No, I'm going to tell you, as the person who has done it several times, you do not need to put down any more than $2,000. You don't even need to put that down. Because here's what the dealership doesn't want you to know. Don't you hate that? Don't you hate those little kitschy saying kind of things that you can see all over the internet? Here's what secrets the dealership doesn't want you to know. I mean, it's like stupid, but nonetheless, it's true. This is what they don't want you to know. The bank or the finance company doesn't give a rat's ass what car it is. They don't care if it's a Kia. They don't care if it's a Lexus. They don't care if it's an army tank. They don't fucking care. What they care about is it in terms of finding out how much it's worth. That's it. Literally. And even at that, kinda. Most of the time, the bank is gonna be like, how much is it? They don't give a fuck what you're buying. They wanna know how much. How much it is that you're trying to finance. Now, so that being said, a lot of people think, okay, well then the bigger the down payment, the better. No, my friend, because here's the thing. That's going to bring down the sticker price of the car. Just the car. The amount you finance is the bottom line dollar amount on your sales contract. There's about 4 other lines before you get to that amount. One of the things that triggers that, I can't plug that in from there. One of the things that adds into that is gap insurance, which I highly recommend that you buy, but don't pay more than $1,000 for that. If you pay more than $1,000 for it, they're ripping your ass off. So gap insurance, you definitely need. Extended warranty. It depends. You can find extended warranties for the cheap, like aftermarket, that will cover your car, provided that the car is not over mileage and 10 years old and shit like that. There's tons of them. Shop around. You don't have to take it from the dealership. You can tell them, you know what? I'm only gonna keep this car a year, homie. I'm good, thanks. If you don't want to. But if you want to get it through them and it makes you feel better to get it through them, and you can take it to any dealership. Almost every dealership deals with aftermarket warranties now. It's not like a big thing. It's not a perk that you could take it to any dealership that you want to or whatever. So, kind of be careful, because that's how they make their money. They make their money on all the little add-ons that they sell you. The gap insurance, the aftermarket warranty, the low jack system, window tinting, all of this bullshit that you don't necessarily have to have, let alone add to your add to your contract and finance. Then there's tax, can't escape that. Title, can't escape that. License, can't escape that. Can't escape the docking fee. However, the docking fee is supposed to be under $160 depending on your state. So keep in mind. So just because you're paying you put down $5,000, that doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, on a $20,000 car you're only going to finance 1,500, because that's what happened to me when I bought my Lexus, which was the car that I got before this car. I wanted a Mercedes, but I got a lesson handed to me instead, so I didn't get the Mercedes, but I took the money that I was going to put down on the Mercedes and put it down on the Lexus, thinking, oh man, I've paid so much down into this car. Yes and no. I mean, you did, but you didn't. So what happens is, my car, they sold me for $21,999. Minus $7,500 that I put down on it. This is the Lexus, not the BMW I have now. And then they added to that, they didn't add gap insurance because I didn't ask them, but they did add a aftermarket warranty, which was almost $3,000. Tax, title, license. So I was right back where I started by the time we're done. And all that was financed. And so it's super convenient to have all your sales tax and everything rolled into, your financing deal, but just understand the impact of what happens with that. You can negotiate it and say, this isn't a down payment. I want to pay my sales tax outside of that. I don't want my sales tax financed. That is a very smart way to put down more money on your car than whatever minimum down payment you want to put down. So how did I get this car with a credit score under $500? How much money did I put down? I put down $2,000. I figured that was an amount that was going to help the dealership actually want to work with me. You have to understand, you have to speak their language. They're not going to want to give you their business or take your money from you and take your business every instance. Unless you find that one salesman that looks extra thirsty on the last working day of the month, because that's the guy that's there like 10 minutes to close, looking hella nervous. He's sweating and shit because he ain't made his numbers. That guy is super motivated. But even then, the salesman or the finance manager is going to have to okay any deal that he makes. And so that's your mark, so to speak, because the guy that's going to work hard for you, he's going to try. He's like, look, she's got money or he's got money. I don't want to let him go. I need this sale. So they're going to really try. But typically speaking, they have people that they want to help and they got people that they don't want to help. That's just kind of how it goes. So I knew what boat I was in already. I knew that I had just financed a car 10 months before that and I totaled it. And I wasn't going to have money for a down payment because my car got totaled and I had to pay it off. And there wasn't a whole lot of surplus. It wasn't like the other car that I got totaled where somebody rear-ended me and that car was paid for. So the check that I got, I could do what I needed to do with at the time. Totally different situation. And so, no, stop, Chanel. So with that, I had to accept that I was going to be a little bit limited. And I went to a dealership that already knew me, that I had a reputation with. When I initially bought my car from them, I was trying to buy a Mercedes. They were like, we can't get you in that, but how about a Lexus? They were really trying to get me in something they knew I was going to be happy in. So I said, give me the same car. And they were like, how about this BMW? And I was like, it's not a Lexus. It's not the Lexus that I had. I want the same car. And they were like, give me a couple of days. I said, you have 72 hours. You go in there like a boss. Literally, you go in there like a boss. But I went in there like a boss because I had already been talking to CarMax. So I already knew that if anything didn't work out with them, I could just go to CarMax. Because I found the one guy that was there late at night, looking worried, sweating, because he hadn't made his numbers. So like, see, so you have a backup plan. So let's recap really quick. So 1, understand what your credit score is. If it's low, that doesn't mean that you're limited. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means that you're limited. 2, banks don't give a flying fuck what kind of car you get. They don't care. They want to know how much the car costs. They care 100% more about the sticker price than about make, model, and trim. Okay? 3, you do not need a ginormous down payment. I have seen people do this with $500 down. It is fucking possible. It's possible. Okay? Literally, the down payment doesn't even go to the bank. Let me just really quick tell you what happens. The down payment helps to reduce the dollar amount that you finance, but that doesn't necessarily go to the bank. They will lie and tell you that it goes to the bank. They'll say, we can't even get a bank to do this deal unless you put down $3,000. Bullshit. Call bullshit on them and tell them, I'm reporting your ass for fucking lying. Not reporting them for lying, but for predatory business practices, something like that. There's some verbiage. I think it's predatory business practices. But nonetheless, tell them that shit, they'll back the fuck off you. But nonetheless, you don't need a whole lot of money down. And 4, even if you had a lot of money down, your better bet would be to say, I don't want to finance my sales tax. I don't want to finance my aftermarket warranty. I just want to pay for those things out of pocket and put down X amount of dollars against the car. Because that's where they fuck you when you give them $5,000, $7,000, however the fuck much down. They, when you're giving them more than a couple of $1,000s, that's where they fuck you. They add on all these things that end up being financed. So you end up paying the same amount. Because at the end of the day, that's all it's about. So I bought the car with $2,000 down. The car was $19,998 for a 2013 BMW X1. It's cute and little, just like me. And and by the time they added, I wanted to make sure that they had gap insurance on it, because the Lexus didn't have that. So I added gap insurance. They pushed for me to have a warranty with the finance company. That's how I figured, oh, that's what you guys are doing. Because the finance company said, we're only going to finance X amount of dollars. Period. Because I thought it was very peculiar to me how, okay, you got me a lower interest, like literally my interest rate is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. My interest rate is like a credit card on this car. It's nothing to be proud of. The point is, I'm in the car, but I'm going to refinance it next year. Like next summer, I'm going to refinance. But nonetheless, I have to do a video on tips on refinancing your car as well. But nonetheless, what the fuck was I saying? Bought the car. Interest rate. The interest rate that they presented me initially was like 20-something%. I know. That's ridiculous. 20-something%. But then they were like, oh, didn't you want a warranty? And I was like, yeah, I'd like a warranty. I don't mind that, because I wanted to get the BMW warranty, but the BMW warranty is like $8,000 and I didn't want to pay that. And so I figured, okay, paying y'all's warranty is like $2,500. It's a win. I'll do that. And so they were like, okay, well, we'll do that. So they had to negotiate with the finance company to bring my interest rate down to $17,900. But my car payment was the same. And I'm like, how the fuck is that? And that's when I figured it out. I'm like, oh, because my amount financed is the fucking same. They took like all it boils down to literally is how much they're trying to finance. And so there's the percentage rate. You would think that the percentage rate is set by the finance company. It's negotiated on by the dealership. So if you real good, now this is where if you go to, like, you don't go to the BMW dealership to buy a BMW, but you go to a different dealership to buy a BMW, and you say, you know what, I think I'll just go to the BMW dealership because they were offering me like 13, or not even 13, they were offering me like 8%, and y'all are talking about 13, so thanks, that's a good one. That's like, they'll say, wait, because they want that sale. But you can't do that with a 500 credit score. You gotta do that with like a 6 or a 700 credit score. So just keep that shit in mind. So that's pretty much it. So it's just about, it's never about the make, model, and trim of a car. What matters to the finance company is the dollar amount you're gonna finance. Keep in mind, your dollar amount is gonna include the cost of the car, sales tax, the amount to title, register the vehicle, so title, the doc fee, which is Everybody pays that, but you don't have to pay no more than like 150, 160 bucks. If they're trying to charge you $300, I would point that shit out like, hey, why is this like 3 times as much? And they'll adjust it. They'll try to play it off and be like, oh dang, thanks for bringing that must have been a typo. They'll play it off because it's not supposed to be that much. And then whatever add-ons you add to it. You can add accidental death and dismemberment or accidental death and disability insurance. So if something happens and you have an accident, you die, then your relatives can keep the car, assuming they want to. If it's not like, say you didn't get an accident in the car. I don't know. It's weird, but it's available and it's out there. So there's that. So I hope this was informative to somebody. I'm sorry to be so long-winded, but that's just kind of how I am. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of the story in addition to telling you the secret. And I hope that you were able to glean the secrets from it, because it's really not that complicated. Just because you have a low credit score doesn't mean you can't get the shit you want. You can. Just understand that you're probably going to pay more for it. Okay, there's not a probably about it. You are going to pay more for it. But at the end of the day, it's only temporary, right? I mean, I know like 10 years ago, I looked at getting a BMW, and it was going to be like a 3-year-old BMW, and I was like, but I don't want to pay a $500 a month car note. And that was at the time with the low APR, because normally those cars, I was thinking that I was going to have to finance like $30,000. So here I am in a car that was 3 years old, and I'm paying $500 for it a month, which is high as hell. I will acknowledge, high as hell, but it's not a $30,000 car. So it was $19,998, and it still had factory warranty on it. Still does, because their factory warranty goes for 4 years, 50,000 miles, and it only had 41,000 miles on it. So, I mean, I got a really, really good deal. I checked with everybody. Got a bomb deal. And that's the other thing. You got to do your homework on your cars. You got to know how much it is that they're worth. And do yourself a favor. Find a service that will come and evaluate the car for you to make sure you're not buying a lemon. That will save you so much headache. It might be a couple of $100 to have them fully check it out, but they'll tell you how much life you have left on belts, how much life you have left on certain parts that you're going to need to change that are wear and tear items. That's very, very helpful info. And find a mechanic that you trust to double check you whenever you take it to get a test drive. So those are my tips. And if you have questions, hey, hit me down below here. I'm definitely going to try to get back to you as soon as I can. I don't really have many subscribers, but we'll see what happens. You never know what happens with life. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully this was informative to somebody. And if I could help change at least one life, then I'll feel good about my life today. I think I said that right. Even if I didn't, you kind of get what I'm trying to say. You get me. So go car shop. Go do something. Wow yourself. Wow me. Wow everybody. Be fun. Go out there. Get out there and do something. Do something fun. Do something for you. And tell me about it. Tell me in the comments. Talk to y'all later.